Enchanted Tiki Talk is brought to you by Kingdom Strollers. Our premium stroller and crib rentals are delivered straight to your Disney or Orlando area resort. It couldn't be easier. Book yours at kingdomstrollers.com. And Mouse Pros. Let our travel specialist plan your next vacation. Our concierge level service gives you the perfect hassle-free vacation. Get your free quote from Sean or any of our magical agents at mousepros.com. And Mickey Monthly, the Disney fans' monthly subscription box that brings the magic right to your door. Visit them at mickeymonthly.com. And now, it's show time!
Vahidi Mekyoni Mana, ladies and gentlemen, no flashbulbs, please. Our performers are temperamental and easily upset. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, look at all the people.
My goodness, you're all staring at us. We better start the show rolling.
Wait, we forgot to wake up the Glee Club.
Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to Enchanted Tiki Talk. We are your hosts. I'm Sean.
I'm Keith.
I'm Matt.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Alan.
So grab yourself a Dole Whip or a citrus roll, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's adventure of Enchanted Tiki Talk. Hello, everybody out there. Thank you once again for returning to the show. Anybody who is new out there, thank you for listening to us in my crazy, weird voice right now. I'm trying to keep my voice together. Okay, so, hello, everybody. Scott is here. Scott, say hello.
Hello.
Keith is here. Say hello.
Hey now.
And Matthew, you're back after a 2-week hiatus. What's going on?
The flu is gone. Everybody's good to go. So bring on spring.
Yes, bring on the spring.
Please.
I know.
We're getting like some more snow, I think, in like a few days. So yeah. The snow's going to hold on for just a little longer.
Hold on for one more day. Things will go your way.
Wow.
Nice.
So, before we get into this week's topic, I'm going to throw it over to Scott for an iTunes review. Scott, go ahead.
All right, thank you, Sean. We've got one new review this week. It's a 5-star from Mailman Doug, titled "Love It." It says, "Great group of guys. They work well together. Funny, fun, and informative. Helps get my Disney fix." So, thank you for that, Doug.
You left off the last part. That Sean was my favorite.
They don't want to have any of their meals ever with Sean.
Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice at all, Scott.
Never said I was.
Okay, well, all right. So thank you very much. So we had a couple winners in our contest a month ago. I guess we had. Micah was a winner for one, and then I forgot the winner of the other one. Yes.
You'll be contacted soon.
This is the most professional podcast ever.
Melissa.
We're prepared.
Melissa C., who's not related to Scott S. Or Scott C., I'm sorry. Scott S.
Scott S.
Yes, they were.
Whoever that guy is.
I don't know. I don't like him, though. But, yes, you two, thank you. Everybody, thank you for submitting your contest ideas and, well, who you want to eat with. And I'm gonna just read a few of them here. I'm looking for anything that has.
They're all gonna be this says Sean.
Yeah,
they're all Sean.
Sean's the greatest.
Sean is my favorite tiki bird. Yes, one of them. Which tiki bird would you like to have dinner with at the park? Tough choice. Let's go with Keith and a restaurant Tiffin's, just because I haven't been and want to try it. That's Jody. There's one.
Oh, thank you, Jody.
Next one. Hi guys, I would love to have dinner with Tiki Bird Sean. Yes, Sean. My family would be in Magic Kingdom on March 8th, my 60th birthday, celebrating at Disney after hours. Let's go to the Nacho Bar at Pecos Bills. Denise, this will be your birthday coming up just before this episode airs, so happy birthday from us. So
happy birthday.
We're going to sing.
Why is she trying to ruin it with a meal with Sean?
Well, I can't make
Classic
it, so
cheese.
We'll have to send Scott and do a perch talk with her. So happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Cha cha cha! Thank you.
We'll send the receipt in case you want to send Scott back.
Another one
Highly
here
likely.
is Kristen. I get too excited and I hit send without. Oh, well, okay. I can't choose between you all for dinner. Can I have a course with each of you? Sure.
Sure.
That'll work.
Progressive dinners.
Next would be
It progressively gets worse as the course.
Tony. If I can have any meal with any Tiki Bird, it would be Matt because he's always seems so grumpy, and I just want him to be happy. Oh, that's so sweet.
Aww. He just wants a hug.
Yeah, there's always one grumpy one.
Hey, I'm not grumpy. The flu's gone. I'm good to go.
Oh, I hope so. Then last one is Gene says, I would love to have dinner with Scott at the Coral Reef restaurant because I was born and raised in New England. Appreciate good seafood and my teenagers don't. We usually eat a lot of cheeseburgers and chicken tenders at Disney World. So does Scott, so you'll have a great time.
I was going to say, she doesn't listen very well because he's not eating seafood.
She doesn't realize that if we go to Coral Reef, I'm eating chicken.
Yeah. Well, I think what she's saying
Chicken of
there
the
that
sea.
Scott will go to any restaurant, but her kids will not.
So her kids will be eating chicken with me.
Probably, yeah. So everybody, thank you for submitting. There was some more, but I just picked out a couple of them. And then next, I have a voicemail on the Tiki Talk hotline. So hold on a second. I'll play it right now.
Hey, this is Lisa from North Carolina, and I just finished listening to your episode about the spinning rides at Walt Disney World, and I wanted to let you guys know that you forgot about the Garden Grill at Epcot. Glad I could one-up you on that one. Love listening to you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, totally forgot about that one.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, spins very, very slowly, which
slowly.
I don't get sick on, which is a good thing, and I actually enjoy sitting there and eating too. So that's a good one. I like that. Thank you for leaving the message. We appreciate that. It's been a while since we had a voicemail.
Yeah.
Too long.
Okay, so with that, we are going to take a quick break.
First came the Magic Kingdom, then Epcot, then Disney MGM Studios, and now... Introducing the most adventurous Walt Disney World theme park ever. Disney's Animal Kingdom, the imagination of Disney, gone wild.
We are back from our short-lived break right there. And with that, happy March to everybody out there. So this week on the show, we're going to continue our shows on our top 5 attractions in the parks. So since last month we did Disney's Hollywood Studios, this month we are going to head to Disney's Animal Kingdom. Yes, that's right, DAC for short.
The park with 7 attractions.
Yeah, that's slightly more than... Well, I wouldn't say
2 more
slightly.
than studios.
Yeah, so yeah, that works. But Animal Kingdom has come a long way in the last year, and a lot more to do in many ways. So let's get cracking there. Now we're gonna go start with my favorite Tiki Bird this week, and they will give their favorite choice. And my favorite Tiki Bird would be myself. And
didn't see that one coming.
No, I'm actually going to start with the grumpy one, Scott.
All right, so I'm going to start with we're starting number 5, going up to number 1.
I tricked you guys. Yes.
What?
Yeah, 5. We're going to start with number 5. Number 5.
Number 5 for me is the Finding Nemo the musical. It's one that I always do when I'm there.
What do you do there?
I watch it in the air conditioning.
He takes it out.
Yeah, that's...
I play with the bubbles.
Tiny bubbles, okay. Alright, Finding Nemo. Yes, I remember the last time, I think it was last year, we were supposed to get with you and your family to view that. My kids had enough, so we didn't get the chance to go see that. It's on my list of things to do one of these days. So, that's all I have.
It's a good show. I mean, it's rather long. The music is really good, and the puppetry is really good too. So I mean, yeah, it's a nice break in your day for sure.
It's on my list simply because I realized putting this together, I don't do a whole lot in Animal Kingdom. Also, I've never done any of the rides in Pandora, so that's not on my list. But yeah, it would be, I guess, number 5 on my list as well. So I enjoy it. Haven't got a chance to do it with either one of the kids because it just didn't work out timing-wise the time we've been there. But it's a good show, and I do enjoy it.
So I guess with that, I will go with my number 5. And my number 5 is deep inside the park, and that is going to be Dinosaur. Roar! Dinosaur roar, says George.
What a scary dinosaur you make.
So, yeah, that made my list. I know it probably, the last time that we did this, it was probably higher up on the list, but because of Pandora adding some attraction, has moved to number 5. And with that Dinosaur, I really enjoy Dinosaur. I brought it up before in the past where I believe that the ride has toned down on the craziness level and the brutality of bouncing you around in the seat.
Really?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so. I don't think so. I think so. Well, number one, I don't hold on anymore. I just use my knees, I lock myself a little.
Daredevil.
Yeah, it's more fun that way. You get more experience out of it.
Yeah.
But
your
it is a
spine
fun
shatter's worse if you don't hold on.
It's all right. You build a new one, whatever. So, I just love that from the pre-show. From walking in there, seeing the giant dinosaur in there, and then you get to see the pre-show, and Mrs. Cosby's in there. It's just so much fun, and then walking to the queue, and then you seeing the scientific scientific formula for ketchup, mayo, and mustard, whatever you want to call it. The scientific name for those things up there, and the rafters hanging there. So I mean, there's not a whole lot to the queue, but at least it's entertaining enough. And when we took Connor on that, we pointed that out, and he thought it was pretty neat. And the ride itself is a good ride. They say it's pretty much the same as going on the Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland.
Correct.
But I have not done the Disneyland ride out there, so I can't really. I have done it, but I don't remember. How really the same it is. I don't remember, but good. It's a good attraction. So that's my number 5.
If Mrs. Huxtable's in it, I gotta redo my list. It's a fun ride. I don't know if I'm just getting older and bones are more fragile, but it hurts me, that ride. Almost like the Space Mountain tolerance level for my body with that ride. But it is fun if you don't like your teeth in the places that they are currently in. You can
interesting.
Go ahead and ride that ride. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do Dinosaur. It didn't even make my list.
Dinosaur.
It got too expensive to carry a chiropractor with me every time to readjust my spine. So,
yeah, also not on my list. It's a good ride, but it doesn't have that re-rideability I think that most other attractions that are on our list are going to have, just because of the bright lights, the sounds, and the fact that you need complete realignment when you get off of it. But it's still an enjoyable ride. Once is enough.
Got it wrong. Go ahead, man.
Sit on a throne of lies.
I already did my number 5.
You did his number 5.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Keith.
Oh, this will probably be a shock to some, but
the bathroom.
I had the Navi River Journey as 5. The ride itself it's a dark ride, but it is an extremely well done. I think that the reason I wanted to ride it over is mainly for the shaman animatronic, which is just spectacular. But there are other stuff in the park that's higher up on this list for me, but that's a nice place to start.
Okay. Matt,
didn't even make my list.
I wish you could have at least read that, Matt.
Yeah, I regret not getting to do either one of them, but
Flat Matt wrote it.
That's true.
Yeah, Flat Matt did write it.
He liked it.
I hope he did, because he did not tell me anything about it, and he's just a not a nice person like that.
That's true.
Hopefully next time I'll get to experience it, but we'll see.
Sean, did that one make your list?
It's on my list, yeah.
All right, well, since I'm next, that's actually my number 4. Believe it or not, it's not my number 1 or my number 2. And for the exact same reason as Keith, it's visually probably one of the most beautiful rides. Granted, it is a bit short, but just how well they did everything in there. And then the Shaman is just the most advanced audio animatronic I think Disney's ever done.
Yeah, it didn't make my list.
All right, so Matt, what's your next one?
Next one for me, just because I have a very limited number of attractions to pick from, I'm going to go with Tough to Be a Bug. I really enjoy the queue of it. I like walking by the tree and everything. I still enjoy the show, even though it probably could use a little bit of an update. The bugs at the end, especially when you catch the people that aren't expecting it.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's you get to go sit down in air conditioned, and even when you're not sitting down, when you're standing in line, you're in air conditioned. So it's enjoyable to take a little break out of the day and do that. So that was number 4 for me.
Yeah, that's a fun show. It's always fun to just sit beside with people who have never seen it before. I do always pretend to scoot up a little bit in the seat, so
Yes.
so that doesn't hurt quite as bad. But yeah, it's a fun show. I like that one a lot.
What a lot of people probably don't know about that attraction is that attraction actually came out before the Bugs Life film, or was finished before the Bugs Life film. So that's why there's not a lot of other characters from the movie in it. So just be aware of that for people who have never done that. You're not going to get the whole full Bugs Life experience. You will get a couple of characters in there, though.
Yeah, it didn't make...
I'll say it's got great poop humor, too, so that's always a plus.
True.
Anything poop humor. Didn't make my list just because of what else there is. I understand with Matt not having Pandora on his that it would have made mine as well, but I think you were right. It needs some updating. That's probably the biggest issue I've got with it.
Yeah, not on my list either because of Pandora. So with that, my number 4 is actually going to be a thrill ride, and that thrill ride would be Everest.
Wow, number 4?
Yeah, number 4. Shocking, right? That's pretty high up there. Yeah, so Everest is on the list just because of some of the things. I was kind of bouncing around between 4 and 3, and I decided to go put number 4 on there just because the reason I think it's a great coaster. I still think I believe that the Yeti being not working does not deter or change the fact that the attraction is still a great attraction. But the reason why that I put it at number 4 was slightly because of I'm like Keith said, he's getting old. His body can't handle dinosaur. My sinuses can't necessarily handle Everest as much. So
I thought you said you were going to put it number 4 because Keith's getting old. I thought you were Keith the reason you were putting it at 4.
I can't ride that anymore.
So I kind of, because it's going backwards, I kind of get a little bit dizzy getting off that attraction. So still love it. It's not something I can ride multiple times a day. I've done it before 2 times in a row, and I was sick for a good 30 minutes. So that's why that's number 4.
But it had absolutely nothing to do with all the green beer he drank in Pandora before he got on it.
No, that wasn't it. I have not had green beer yet either.
It's just regular beer.
Except St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, this one did not make my list.
Wow.
And I don't know. I was tossing it back and forth between my number 3 of which one I wanted on there, but it did not. It's hard. It's definitely a runners up, and if you ask me again tomorrow, it probably would be on there. But I'm the same thing. I'm one that I've never really gotten sick on any kind of attraction ever. But that's one that now I remember during previews before it even opened, I did it 7 times in a row, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Now it's like I go on once and I'm good.
Right.
It's on my list, but it's later on down the line.
Yeah, that's same with me. So I'll stick with my 4, and it's the Birdika Band, Harambe.
Welcome to Harambe.
Every time I go there, I always check the times guide and make sure that I catch at least on one set, if not more. It's just a fun time. The music is great. The Dawa bar is right there so that you can get yourself a drink, and a band just, they put on an amazing show there.
I've actually have never seen them live more than a few minutes, but I do own their CD, and I love the CD. So I should try to spend some more time sitting there and watching them perform. It's just, it's just one of those things, you're with the kids and they're like, come on, let's go. And they don't always want to just sit there and watch it. But, yeah, they are pretty good. They are very enjoyable.
I just let the kids go dance in the street, sit there and drink, and everybody will be happy.
Yeah, my kids won't do that.
Until 5 minutes later, the kids are missing.
Yeah, right.
Even better, it's more time to drink.
So for my number 3, this is the one that I was having a hard time of deciding between this and Everest, and I chose Festival of the Lion King just because I think it's one of the greatest non-Broadway shows that Disney's ever done. And it's, again, another one that every time I'm at Animal Kingdom, I check Times Guide and I have to watch one of theirs. It's mostly all still the original cast from back when the attraction first opened, and they're absolutely incredible with it. So definitely check and see when there's either the 3 or the 4 Tumble Monkeys, because if there's only 3, they don't do that whole section of the show. And I think that's one of the best parts. And I love watching that show now with my boys because they just are in awe the whole time.
If you would have asked me 2 years ago, this probably would have not even made my list. But something about the time when we went in November, I sit down with the kids. I didn't expect, because I'd seen it before, and it was okay. I wasn't impressed with it. But this last time we sat down, I don't know if I was just more paying attention or what it was, but it was an amazing show. I've actually got it number 3 on my list as well. I just really enjoyed it, and I don't know what the difference was between the first time I saw it and this time.
The new theater.
But it's still the same.
I know. It's the fact that it was in Africa this time.
That's it, exactly.
Well, I mean, that's a good choice. I have not... it's not on my list, but I think it's a solid choice for you guys.
It was actually was 3rd on mine as well, for the same reasons. I mean, his show is just spectacular. It's one of the shows that you don't... I hope it never ends. It's just, it's so well done. The costumes are spectacular. It's just a really good show.
I think they should change one thing, and that's have more of the guy with the fire in it.
It's fine until he burns the stage again, but...
So, with you guys saying all your number 3s, I will go with my number 3. And number 3 for me would be Kilimanjaro Safari.
Wow.
I didn't even put that on mine, and I'm kind of ashamed I didn't.
Wow.
There was only 5. I couldn't help it.
Yes, I was trying to decide between Everest and Kilimanjaro Safari, and I've actually come to really like Kilimanjaro Safari more and more on every single trip. I enjoy it more. The kids kind of enjoy it more as well. So it's like one of those things like you can relax. You take time out of the day and go for a nice little car ride that goes bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. It gets pretty hot, but you get to see so many cool and interesting animals, and it's never the same every time you ride the attraction. So, there's because the last time we were on it's probably the best I've ever seen. I've seen a couple of lions. We've seen animals up close. There was a giraffe like 4 feet away from us. So it was like everything was right there. The elephants were all out. So that just like amazed everybody that was in the car with us. So I had to up my game on that one. I put that at number 3 over Everest.
Wait, wasn't I on the one with you the last time you rode it in November?
No, with the kids when I was with my family.
Oh,
now
okay. I was gonna say we were on the same truck, but we didn't have the same ride experience.
No, we did not with that guy.
Yeah,
the guy who had
with the sucker in his mouth.
With the sucker in his mouth.
Yeah. I think it was just a piece of plastic.
I don't know what it was. He was
cussed out the elephant's mom.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he wasn't very nice. So yeah, number 3 for me.
Well, I'll piggyback in. That's actually my number 2. This used to be my second favorite attraction, probably in all of Disney World. I would probably put it at number 3 now. But the fact that every time you go on it is a different ride, no matter what. And giraffes and elephants are 2 of my favorite animals. And the fact that you can have, especially the giraffe, stick its head in your truck. It's one of the coolest experiences, especially for people that will never get the chance to go to Africa. It's the next best thing.
Yeah, more to be said later on that one for me.
I do enjoy that.
Apparently not as much as everything else.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not sure if I haven't had the exceptional experiences that y'all have had on that ride. I mean, I'm not sure if I've ever had any animals inside the truck or almost near the truck. It's pretty much all far in the distance, but I do enjoy it, though.
What?
What?
Didn't make your list?
Yeah, jeez, I'm sorry.
My lovely wife, everybody.
What?
I knew we'd get your wife on the podcast one day.
One way or another, she's gonna get on there.
All right, so moving on. My number 2 is actually Everest. I enjoy that coaster. I think it's one of the better coasters I've been on. I love the theming of the queue. You know, the extra bit you get going backwards, which Sean's not man enough to take. I just love everything about that ride, and you know, it's even better than when my 3-year-old got. Oh, no, he wasn't. Sorry, he wasn't 3. It was how old was he? 6. However, whenever he got on his first time, and you know, he got done with it, and he said, "I'll never go on it again." But at least he rode it once. So that made it, you know, one of the best rides we had. So
Right.
The thing about, you know, you're talking about the queue there, which I failed to bring up, was that all the artifacts in that queue that are behind glass are like real I can't
That
say
word.
Yes, that word.
Artifacts.
Artifacts. They are actually real things that were found or given to Disney for the Yeti. Some of those news stories, all those things, anything that's behind glass is real. So I think that's pretty cool.
even the Yeti scat.
This was also hit the runner up on my list as well. As I've said in the past, this is by far my favorite coaster. It's on property. I normally ride it single rider because my wife won't ride it. It's always fun to sit beside like a newbie to the ride, and I love the queue. The whole experience with Expedition Everest is amazing.
Scott.
I think it's kind of a no-brainer what my number 1 is, and that's going to be Flights of Passage. And
wait, hold on. I thought you did. What was your number 2?
His number 2 is
Safari.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So my number 2.
That's why I was going.
Sorry, my number 2 is what Scott was about ready to say is Flight of Passage at number 2 for me. Reason why it's not number 1 is, once again, according to Matt, I'm not man enough to handle these things. But like I said in the past, my initial impression of the attraction was absolute amazement. I love the attraction. I think it's amazing. I smiled. I had both times that I've been on that attraction, I smiled. My grin was, from ear to ear on that thing. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Visually, it's just unbelievable. It's an incredible experience. But just because I do get nauseous on it, and it takes me a little bit of time to recover, a lot worse than it does on Everest, I put it at number 2 because it's one of those things where if I'm going to do it, I'm only going to do it once on that trip probably. So that's why for me it was number 2. But it's an unbelievable experience. There's no question about it.
Yes.
Didn't make my list.
Yeah. I think I'm with Scott. This was my number 1. The queue is really, really long. That's the only drawback to it. As soon as you think that you're like almost to the ride, you're like still like 4 or 5 like switchbacks away from it. But the ride itself, it's just unlike anything that you have experienced any place that you've ever been.
To me, it's the greatest. Obviously, I've not been to the parks outside of the U.S., but it's the greatest ride Disney has ever created. And the queue is so incredibly detailed with everything. I know I've said it when I did the live recording during the preview, and I got off, and same reaction every time. I get off the ride speechless. There's really nothing to describe how incredible that ride is.
Let me ask you this, since I've never rode it: is it possible to go in with your expectations too high and be disappointed? Because I'm afraid that's going to happen to me.
I think so.
Honestly, I don't think so.
No, I think so.
I don't because it had been open for like a few months before I was there. Comments and the praise and everything for that ride, my expectations were like on the roof. That's how high they were for this ride, and I got walked off of it. I couldn't like put words to what the experience was like.
All right, so I guess Scott, that was your number one, right?
Yes, that was my top.
Okay, is it? So I guess it's my turn now. Is that how?
Yes.
I'm all confused. All right,
sure.
Number one for me is the Safari. Kind of what Sean was saying. It's re-rideability. You know, you get the great animal interactions. It's always different every time. It's the heart and soul of that park, and you know, it's the ride that I go to Animal Kingdom for every time. Now, granted, yes, I haven't been to Pandora yet, but it is the ride I go to Animal Kingdom for. So that I put it number one on my list.
I'm sure once you ride Flight of Passage, that could end up changing things, but you know, you have to experience it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You have to. I mean, you're going to have to experience Flight of Passage. So I completely understand why it is number one for you at this time. I think that you could go in there with high expectations and enjoy it, but you can also not like it. But knowing you, I think you will like it. I don't think you're going to come out of it not liking the attraction. So considering that you even enjoyed Frozen and Epcot, you'll love this.
Right. Yeah, I knew, you know, doing this list, everything would probably bump down at least one, if not two spots. So.
Right. So with that, it's going to leave it up to me now at my number one, and I guess some people out there know where this is going. It's going to be the Navi River Journey, which is going to probably be shocking because no one out there is probably going to put that at number one on their list at Animal Kingdom. But one, I love dark rides. Listen, that's one of my favorite things is dark rides in Disney. They're just so relaxing. There's so much to see. There is re-rideability on those things as well. And I especially think that on this attraction there's so much to see in each scene that it's hard to see it in one pass experiencing everything. And then the shaman at the end is incredible. The music, the movement, the lighting on the whole attraction is beautiful. It could be a lot longer, but I think overall the experience is great. It's great for families. So that's another thing that's nice, that one of the reasons why it is there is that I can enjoy it with my family as well, no matter what their age or whatever whatever. If they're not into roller coasters, I can enjoy it with them. So that's the reason why I put that at number one, just because it's an incredible experience. I just wish Pandora itself was like that attraction throughout. So, but hey, that's my number one. I like it, and you can't take that away from me.
And I won't.
Well, I think that's it for Animal Kingdom.
All right, so that's you okay over there, Keith?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
That's going to do it for this week. First, we want to thank our sponsors. Kingdom Strollers. Get your premium stroller and crib rental at kingdomstrollers.com. Let the vacation experts at mousepros.com help plan your next perfect Disney vacation. Don't forget to check out our store at redbubble.com/Tiki Talk Podcast. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook at Enchanted Tiki Talk, Instagram and Twitter at Tiki Talk Podcast. You can also leave us a message on the Tiki Talk hotline, 1256 for my Tiki, 256-469-8454. And if you enjoy the show, please rate us on iTunes.
And you can find me on Twitter at 1 Minute Disney Dream. That's 1MIN Disney Dream. MouseWorldVacations.com and MousePros.com. Don't forget on Tiki-licious Sean.
And you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Dole Whip Daily.
And you can find me on Twitter at Scotty Campbell or on Instagram at ScottyBoy.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter at mholly579. With all that being said, Alan, enjoy the big safari up in the sky. Go ahead and take it away, buddy.
Thanks for listening this week. For Sean and Keith, Scott and Matt, I'm Alan. And this has been Enchanted Tiki Talk. Aloha.
Yeah, you're going to have to give me a minute because I didn't realize we were doing that.
Oh, Scott. Don't you look at text messages.
Nope.
Great.
One too many shots of Cuervo.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Scott was away in the Mexico Pavilion last week for a few days, hiding out. So he's back from the Mexico Pavilion in Epcot. I think he forgot what it's like to podcast.
See,
I did forget. I can't even get to where the review is.
Doobie doobie doo. Let's see if Scott can find that iTunes review. That was Keith.
Yes, it was.
Of course.
I was
click it and it starts at 4 years ago.
Matt sailing away. Where are you sailing to, Matt?
Where's somewhere fun to sail to?
Tequila.
No, thank you.
Tequilaville?
Dun, 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 dun.
Alright, I've got it pulled up.
Oh, good. Thanks for taking 3 minutes out of the show.
You're welcome.
Think of Pee Wee Herman like every time that song is mentioned.
Dun, 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 dun. Tequila!
We may or may not have danced to that song, as most people were probably drunk on the bus back from Patron that night.
Oh, I'm sure that you probably
It was
did.
the typical gringos dancing drunk to tequila.
Enchanted Tiki Talk has been brought to you by MousePros.com. Let us plan your perfect Disney vacation. And MickeyMonthly.com, where you can get the park sent directly to you. And by KingdomStrollers.com for all your premium stroller and crib rental needs. Also by Trader Sam's Coffee. Why not brew some magic in your home? And finally, Woodies.com. Sunglasses for a glare-free view of the magic. For all of us here, I'm David Benter. Thanks for listening to Enchanted Tiki Talk.